Welcome back. You're still tuned in to News and Views with myself, Salailo Makudiri, 20 minutes past 8 Central African time. And you're still tuned in to News and Views. And we're going to be heading over to the events of yesterday. Johannesburg Mayor Dada Morero has delivered what many are calling a defining political address at a time when South Africa's largest city and economic hub, Johannesburg, is facing challenges that remain under intense scrutiny. And what was interesting for me is the fact that while defending his administration's record and taking aim at comparisons with other metros, i.e., the city of Cape Town, difficult questions remain around Johannesburg's financial pressures, around governance, capacity, and whether political leadership across coalition governments is delivering tangible change for the citizens of the city of gold, if we can still call it that. And we're going to be having a reaction to the events of yesterday, that State of the City address presented by Mayor Dada Morero. It's his last one ahead of the local government elections coming up late in the year in November. And we'll be unpacking all of that with political analyst Levy Ndou, who's joining us telephonically. Levi, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to News and Views. Really appreciate you giving us your time.
Slylo, good morning to you. Good morning to the listeners at home. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure is all ours, and I want to jump right into it, Levi. Just looking at, the mayor Dada Morero yesterday delivering that State of the City address. He projected confidence, but critics and everyone, I think I'm speaking for, who stays in the city of Johannesburg, will tell you that what he was saying and the reality on the ground are two different things. The financial challenges of the city tell a different story, and politically, the governance and service delivery, it's mismatched to what he was telling us. From your point of view, how did you view? How did you? See the posture of Dada Morero while he addressed the city of Johannesburg and all of us who stay in it.
Dada Morero did exactly what I and many others expected.
Mm.
He is aware that he is leaving the city of Johannesburg towards the end of this year. He had to talk to the challenges facing the city, but at the back of his mind, he did not want to focus more on the actual challenges because he still wants to look at the political future of himself and his party, the ANC. And if you listen to him very, very well, when he talks about the challenges in the city of Johannesburg, he would talk about the past, that before he came in, there were challenges, and what he was trying to do was to try and address those challenges. Some of the challenges that you have in the city of Johannesburg are actually the challenges that were created by poor planning, not focusing on the financial future of the city, and also not having proper financial projections by the city's administrators. And those are the sources of, or some of the sources of the challenges faced by the city of Johannesburg.
You touched on something that's very, very important: the future of the African National Congress and of Dada Morero in the city of Johannesburg. Is that still a reality that you think at the back of their minds they're still thinking about the fact that the ANC could still be at the helm come end of 2026 when we come from those local government elections? Do you think that's still a reality, that they think it's a possibility for them?
Yes. When you have so many political parties coming, but these many political parties are unable to get the majority, you get the votes being spread amongst different political parties. And whether we like it or not, the ANC, even though there are many coalitions, the ANC will still be getting a greater portion of the votes, and that will continue to put them at the helm. They might not get the mayoral positions, but they will still be having the majority. And then that gives them the ability to dictate terms in these different councils. Now, so when you have got more political parties contesting and other people voting for these political parties, votes get spread and the beneficiary would remain the ANC unless something very drastic has to change. And specifically, if you look at the city of Johannesburg, you have got a lot of parties having put their focus on the city of Johannesburg. It means they'll bring in as many candidates that they think would make a difference. That by doing so, they'll be spreading their votes. The DA already has made it clear that they are going to bring Helen Zille. Action SA is talking about bringing Mr. Mashaba. You have got the ANC, you have got the EFF, you have got the IFP, you have got Patricia de Lille and Musi Maimane coming together. You have got the Patriotic Alliance. So all these people will be looking for votes from the very same people. And if votes get spread, then we head back to a coalition.
And just looking at the state of the coalition in the city of Johannesburg, do you think it's almost a microcosmic of what coalitions can become? It's not necessarily as effective as you'd want it to be. We now have the same reality nationally. What do you make of the city of Johannesburg and this new reality of coalitions, where you'd have, for instance, a mayor from a party like Al Jamaa that have one seat in council, and essentially everyone knows that mayor holds no significant decision-making, power, and they're just a compromise amongst all of the other political parties involved. Your assessment of the reality of coalitions, especially in the city of Johannesburg?
We are lucky that at national level, there is a discussion that is talking about how coalitions are supposed to be run and functioning. There are a number of divergent views when you look at how coalitions are structured and arranged. The very same issue that you are raising, and I will pose a question back to you and the listeners, that would we say it is the wishes of the people to have a one-seat party to occupy the mayoral position? And
I would say confidently that it's not. It's definitely not.
Therefore, it will require some form of restructuring and have certain agreements to be reached, because the manner in which coalitions have been arranged, specifically in the city of Johannesburg, have created a situation where, instead of being the source of stability, coalitions have become the source of instability and poor governance. And I'll tell you why. Just in the previous local government elections, after those elections, we have had a lot of changes in the political leadership of the city of Johannesburg. And that has a potential to create serious governance challenges, including administrative challenges. So when the mayor was talking to the citizens of Johannesburg yesterday, that's one of the issues that he raised, that he got in when there was no stability. At least issues of governance appears to have been functioning. But the real challenges, the constant changes of leadership, coupled with the inability of our own politicians to focus on the actual work that they're supposed to be focusing on. Because most of the time is spent on dealing with coalition issues rather than dealing with service delivery issues. And that is the big challenge that political parties themselves must come to the party and assist local government to be able to function.
The problems and the troubles of the city of Johannesburg have been well documented, especially in the last few months. There was that issue around the fiscus and the city essentially being bankrupt. There's that almost 5 billion rand, debt that the city is owing to ESCOM. And the dilapidation, just general service delivery failures and dilapidation of the city of Johannesburg. There are some sects that are saying maybe the conversation around putting the city under administration should, start bubbling up. What are your thoughts on that? Or is it too soon? Is Joburg not yet at that point where we can call for the city to be put under administration?
We need to firstly try and look at the root cause and therefore deal with the root cause. The misconnection between politicians and administrators is an area that has to be dealt with. I say so because politicians will say something and administrators will act differently. And when at times promises are made and commitments are made, politicians will not have looked at the fiscus of the city, and therefore they are unable to perform on their promises. Another aspect as well is that the inability to sufficiently collect revenue is also a challenge, because all these issues that we talk about requires finances that the city should be able to collect. But there also appears to be an imbalance when it comes to the city personnel and the services that are supposed to be delivered and the budget. So we could be having more people who should require a lot of finances in terms of salaries, but without more money coming into the city. But another aspect that we don't want to talk about, and it could not be a very convenient moment to do so, the inability of the city to manage the infrastructure is one of the very, very big challenges that the city is facing. That there seems not to be a clear way to manage the infrastructure. That's why you have got potholes everywhere. That's why you have got hijacked buildings. That's why you have got people that are stealing electricity. That's why they are not repairing the leaking pipes. So that talks to the general negligence on the part of the city. And that also requires politicians, administrators, and communities being able to work together to deal with this kind of challenges.
No, most definitely. Levy, Ndou, always a pleasure having you on Salam Media. I really, really appreciate your time. And leading up to the local government elections, I know you and I are going to be talking a lot. Thank you. Continue video for now.
Indeed. You're always welcome.
There we go. There was a political analyst, Levy, Ndou, helping us unpack coalition governance, economic expectations, and just the general landscape when it comes to the city of Johannesburg ahead of the local government elections, as you, the voters, are essentially weighing in your options. I'm sure you took a look at that State of the City address by Mayor Dada Morero. What did you make of it? Do you feel that he made justice to the promises that he made as mayor when he first took the reins? Or do you feel it was just lip service, another politician standing in front of voters, standing in front of the citizens, and not necessarily having a grasp of the reality on the ground? I mean, you look at Joburg CBD, you look at even suburbs, places where naturally you wouldn't think that service delivery would be a problem. It is a reality now. The same issues that someone in Bryanston and someone in Soweto are facing are similar. It's potholes, it's power cuts, it's a water crisis that doesn't seem to go away, or the government doesn't have an idea on how to sort it out. So you can engage with us. What do you think is the solution for the city of Johannesburg? I see your line 01168000355 on WhatsApp 061 and across social media it's at Salam Media, and you can comment and read your comments on air, and we can keep the conversation going. Coalition politics, or is it time for just an overhaul when it comes to leadership in the city of Johannesburg? Different political party altogether. Going to take a quick break. News and views continues right after this.